Warning, this story contains strong language, violence, sexual themes, and sensitive topics, and may not be suitable to sensitive viewers. Soulbound, Chapter 8, A New Start. The time eventually came. Ophelia was going to start school today. She was a bit nervous due to the bad experiences she had at her previous school, but she tried to hold her head up high, and she entered the building. She was greeted by her teacher, and she was welcomed by her new classmates. It hadn't even been 5 minutes, and she was already treated better. She was not treated like a burden, or some kind of disease-ridden rat, unlike her old school. She sat down and looked around the room, taking in her surroundings before looking at her new classmates. The classroom was pretty organized for the most part, and there were many posters and drawings on the walls. Some were educational, while others were made by the children themselves. There were probably over 30 kids in the room, which fascinated Ophelia, since she was used to smaller classrooms with 15 people at maximum. She looked at the kind of people she was surrounded by, and she realized there were children of all classes here, lower class, middle class, and upper class like herself. A few of the children seemed to catch her eye, but she wasn't entirely sure why, so she just shrugged it off. Ophelia was pretty advanced in her class compared to most of the students. This was probably due to Sebastian's lessons, and some of the less gifted seemed almost jealous of her advantage. Most of the other children were less skilled compared to Ophelia, but there were a select few who seemed to meet her standards, or were better than her. These children definitely caught Ophelia's eyes. After class was over, it was time for recess. Ophelia went to some of the other girls her age. She wanted to make friends with them, which was much easier compared to her old school. It seems that status got you far if it was favorable. The girls were kind to her, but something about the way they acted felt off. Ophelia kept her guard up just in case, which seemed to be the right decision after one of the upper-class girls started to bully a lower-class boy. Ophelia scoffed and went to step in.
"Hey, how about you pick on someone your own class,
she said firmly, which caused the girl to look at her and then backed away. Ophelia walked away from the girls, feeling disgusted with the way they behaved, so she just sat on a bench nearby. Ophelia's mind seemed to wander a bit as she stared off into space. She wasn't paying attention to anything or anyone. She was practically blind as her mind strayed in all kinds of directions. "Hello there. You're new, right?" a voice asked, and Ophelia flinched as she looked up. My apologies. I didn't mean to startle you," a boy said. He had dark blue hair, which was tied back, and he had dark blue eyes. "It's not often to see an upper-class person stand up for someone of the lower class. It's quite honorable, I'd say," he said.
"It was nothing, really,"
she said, and he chuckled a bit.
"Who are you, anyway?"
she asked. He smiled. "The name is Holmes. William Holmes."